Hello, Hecate devotees, witches, and other occultists alike out there. Today's video is about what is on my altar. I figure it's a good video to do because as beginners or even as seasoned veterans of witchcraft, we tend to build our altars around our personalities or functions that we need. So I figured today would be a good time to show you what's on my altar and how to clean your altar. So let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. Here is my beautiful Hecate statue. I know she does not look like the traditional triform Hecate, but I created this statue out of two elements. One, I had a vision, a dream of this particular form of Hecate. I'm going to turn her this way so you can see what I'm talking about. Right here she has a deer jaw, which a friend of mine, a fellow occultist who did dark solar work, he carved that in exchange for a painting that I did for him, and he passed away. He's no longer with us. And upon his passing, I did a spiritual journey. I had just gotten rid of my old statue, a different form of Hecate Catonia, and I was trying to be inspired as how to create my new statue. And with his passing and with this dream or vision that I had, I made this. So here's her body. He carved this part, and you can see the teeth right here. And my daughter had this odd clay that dries. It doesn't feel like clay, it feels like foam. So I was like, oh, you know what? I have a problem with my statues breaking quite often. Either the cats will get up on the altar and knock her down, or I'll go to move something on the altar and she'll get knocked over, destroyed. You know, many things happen to our altars, you know, that is not our fault or beyond our capacity. Anyway, the point to that was that this foam clay has stood the test of time. And I took the clay and I put sacred herbs in it and molded it together and put it around the jawbone of the deer. And then this, her face is actually carved buffalo bone. Up here we got human fingertips, obsidian skull. And the reason why her chest is a bit black and her hands are a bit black, and right here are so many built up years of blood offerings. I cleaned her face off a bit today, so she's nice and bright and shiny. But yeah, that is one of the things about that very porous foam clay, is that it did hold some of the resonance of blood offerings. So we got her. So I will also show you on her base here, she has Hecate symbols. And she is sitting on, pardon me, a piece of black bull skin that has another epitaph of hers. So we got the Hecate in Theban and Luna, and then her sigil. So I've already cleansed these. I've cleansed the base of my altar, my skins, and my Hecate statue with seawater and Hecate oil that I'd made in a previous video of mine. So that is a really good way to clean wood altars, is using Hecate oil, because the oil gets into the fibers of the wood, and using sea salt for cleansing statuary, glass items comes in handy. It not only like physically cleans it, but it cleanses it and protects it and puts those good energies in there that you like. For example, my seawater, it's in a dang plastic bottle, but you know, I literally went to the ocean and filled it up as much inconspicuous as I could. So the point of that was that you can leave your seawater and your oil on your altar, so when you're doing rituals, it increases the energy. It absorbs that energy that you're putting into your altar. And then when you go to cleanse your altar, it has all that good juju in it. Okay. So, my nice wall plaque. Over here we have this lovely, it is a candle base, but I like it, just the function that it is. So you can see that I put money in there. I do often leave money offerings for Hecate. At the end of the month, I usually do use that money out in the public, purchasing things. And by having the money sit on the altar, it is, I worked hard for it. She's blessing it. It is also an offer and thanks to her allowing me to have a job, and it allows me to financially be stable in my household. So that is why I put money offerings there for her. And like I say, I do use it at the end of the month, and I don't know how other people feel about money offerings to the gods and whether or not they use it in public or not. That's a good question that other people, I'd be curious to find out. Alright, so on top of this tower, we got my lovely Hecate medallion. On top of here, I have, these are all flowers that have been given to me by people. So, family, friends, lovers, all that good stuff. There's all my flowers. And I think maybe I have one or two that I have taken from the cemetery and given as offering. You can see I have a piece of my hair here. It sits up there. About every 6 months, I will burn my hair, already cut. I'm not burning it when it's on my head. As a way to purify and cleanse myself and get rid of the negative things that have been clinging on to me for like the past couple months. And I do cut my hair about every 6 months, which is, last time I did it, it was 6 months ago. And I will save whatever hair I cut, even if it's just a trim of like an inch, because it is a part of you. It not only is a part of your essence and energy that you have been putting in for the last, 6 months, your sweat, blood, and tears, literally your essence that comes off the top of your head goes through your hair. So it is a good way to just cleanse yourself, or even doing protection rituals for you or any people in your bloodline. Using your hair is a good way to burn and ward off. So then we got another Hecate sigil that I have right here that is done on another piece of black leather. So that's the basics up right now. So I'm going to go through all the things that I've collected from people, from myself, for Hecate throughout the years that I put on my altar. Like I said, right now it's really blank because I have cleansed it. And let me point this out. My altar is pretty big. You can see that it is or was once a functioning trunk. Inside of it, I'm not going to open it up to show you, but inside I have books, sacred herbs, and all the rituals and spells I've used, and a couple animal skins that I use for rituals. So it's great to have a cabinet or a nice trunk as an altar base, so you can put sacred things in there. Before I get started on everything else, let me point this out. So over here I have on the side of my altar my incense sticks, my candles. I have my grave dirt, I have snake skin, I have oil that I've made, and then of course rainwater, seawater in plastic bottles, and a big bushel of sage. You can never have too much sage. Okay, so let's start here. Here, my beloved Billy. Here's my skull. He's a good boy. And you can see right here I put blood offerings on him. He came this way. I bought this from my old teacher. So he used it in many, many rituals before me. You can see where he cut it. Poor Billy here. He's an old guy. He's from the 1800s. And then you can see where, over time, candle wax. I did not do this. My old teacher did. So Billy has a beautiful function. I pick him up and put him right there. So he faces out so he can see everything going on. And I might have to scooch him over just a smidge. There we go. Okay, so Billy, yay! Alright, let's go over some of these things. And it's kind of disarrayed right now. So bear with me, please. Alright. Here are, this I bought at a pagan fair, and I liked it because it has a little rattle, and it was hand carved by somebody, so it's an owl. Cute. It's a walnut shell made into an owl. Alright, right here. These are my truth-telling stones. Got some beauties here. Got some dragon's blood, some petrified wood, amethyst, clear rose quartz, clear quartz, and then obsidian. And they stay in this bag usually, and there's the sigil that they stay in. And this is also a Knickknacks wheel. I didn't make it as well as it should have been. It should have had notches in it, so when it spins, it makes this nice whoo sound. It does have holes in it, but it didn't do as good as a function as it should have. Both of these things, I will tell you, I got from the book, The Hecatean. They teach you how to create these. The stones you use for prophecy. You can, you shake them in the bag, and then you say an enchantment, and then they will tell you yes or no to questions. Very useful. And the Knickknacks wheel, you'd spin to call your familiar. And then the familiar you can use to do work. So those are two things that will go back on the altar. And then I'm going to walk you through all of this, and then I'll just put it all up by hand, so that way it's not tedious and you're not like, okay, this is taking too long with putting all this stuff back up on the altar. Okay, so we got my seawater, which we'll go over with my sage. I just have it here because I was cleansing things. My beautiful Hecate card. This came from the tarot deck made by Steve Samsara, and he has prints and tank tops and shirts available, which I have one. She's a beautiful Hecate. I'm friends with him, so this is dear to me, not just because it has a beautiful Hecate image, but personal connection. Okay. So then, as a matter of fact, here's the rest of those tarot cards. You can kind of sort of see in there. Okay, you don't need to look at the whole cards. Alright, so we have all of these keys right here. They surround Hecate Statue. So each one of them I've collected. People have given me, like this one I bought. This one I found. I was having a really shitty day, and I went out in the middle of the night to go for a walk and pick some datura for her, which is out in my desert, and I found this. It doesn't have blade on it because it hadn't been cut yet. So I was like, oh, she's trying to tell me stay strong. So that's one I found. This is a copper panel, literally a copper pipe I cut in half. I bought the pipe at Lowe's and cut it in half so I can have a template, because it's really hard to find copper template unless you buy it specifically from a witch store. And I did not have the time to do that, so I bought it via Lowe's and cut it in half. So on it is Hecate Catonia symbol and her name, and Catonia, Hecate, Catonia, and on the back the function of it. I often just keep random bones that I find in the desert on my altar, so that's one of them. This is a coyote femur given to me by a fellow necromancer, and as you can see, it's all blackened because I use it to stir my cauldron. Here is another Hecate. This one is Lucifera. I did a sacred rite at the crossroads to her using, it had to have been silver, so I pounded out a silver coin and did her sigil, the function on the back, and her name on it. Here I have 2 old Greek coins. I bought them in a lot, and then see, that one's copper, and it's a little hard to see the detail on them, but you can see the emperor and the markings on them. I'd like to also state that this particular Hecate template, I did a ritual to her. Both of these came from Jade Soluna's book, Hecate, Death, and Transition. They're very long, intimate rituals, but very worth doing. This is a pounded out copper moon. Sometimes I will put this way on my head as a crown when I do ritual to invoke some of the copper energy. This sits at the base of my Hecate statue, so it has a lot of her energy in it. Okay, so one of my friends carved me the Odin rune, so I have a piece of Odin with me on my altar because I think of him kind of like a father figure, but definitely when I go into war situations, I have a little bit of Odin with me. So then next to that, here's some more Hecate keys. One of my dear friends, Lacey, gave me that one. And that's another one I collected. So we have these feathers, which have all come to me in various ways. This one, I was walking out in the woods. I saw a bobcat. I looked down and then I found this owl feather. We got red cardinal feathers. And this is a butterfly wing, which I got from a visit to a butterfly exhibit. Here I have a molar. The reason why I have this on here, this is not mine, this is a friend of mine's. But Hecate Brumo, she is the function of bones and teeth. And I will admit that I'm horrible at, as a kid, I ate so much damn sugar and did not brush my teeth. So as an adult, I'm regretting that. So I have this on here kind of like, please protect my teeth and prevent infections and, protect the bones is pretty much why I have the molar there. Okay. So then I have, this is my mala. This has 108 pearl beads and clear beads on it. This is what I use to count my prayers. So I'll do like 300 repetition of Hecate hymns using this. A really, really important tool, let me tell you. Trying to do a count of 1,000 in your head is near impossible. This thing really helps. Okay, so then we got some lovely stones here. This one I think I collected in Colorado when I visited. This one was given to me. It has, there's another tiny ancient Greek coin that I put on top of it. This one is for peace, calm, and river. I will use this one when I do water functioning rituals. This one my son gave me, so I keep that. This has grave dirt in it, and it's a seashell, so it represents the sea and returning to the sea after death. My candles. Here's some brick dust, which is absolutely handy in creating limitations. You want to make a circle around you. You want to protect your doors and windows from evil spirits. Old brick dust is a good way to go. Okay. So here we are. This is, I love this shot glass because it's the female figure. And anytime I have health issues, or one of my family members that's female has health issues, I will fill this glass as its representation of their body or mine for health. You can see in there I have rubbing alcohol and a spider, Black Widow, that I'll be using for a ritual later. Let me say this really quick. As a witch and a Hecate worshiper, her connection that people usually don't talk about is spiders and scorpions. Those are the two insects that are sacred to Hecate. And I have a little passage here that talks about the function of why Hecate is connected with spiders. So it comes from Ovid, Metamorphos, Roman epic, classic 1st BC. Peleus Athena sprinkled her arachne with drugs of Hecate, Hecadios herbae, and thrice touched by the bitter lotion, the girl was transformed into a spider. So, it states Hecate's herbs created arachne, the spider. So, there's your connection with Hecate and spiders. I will sacrifice black widows to her because of their poison, their strong webs and connections to weave us all together. So that's Hecate and spiders. All right. Here we have my lovely skull full of tears, which is why it's a little discolored at the bottom. Anytime I am stressed or extremely sad over a situation, I will save my tears because you can use them later in rituals for protection, for cursing, and for bonding. Okay. I got this lovely picture that goes right next to Billy on my altar. A friend of mine gave this to me as a birthday gift. It reminds me of the witch burning days, to be strong, to have strength, to endure past the shitty situations we have in life. And it's a beautiful, haunting picture, so of course I have that up there. Alright. Here, I collected this at the crossroads. It's a little lantern, so cute. These three these three skull beads came off of my old teacher's mala, so I have that on there as representation of the past. I think these beads also were given to him by a monk who carved them, so that is another reason to have them. Got a rose quartz skull here, self-love. That also goes next to Hecate. So this ring, it has diamonds, peridot, and sapphire. This actually is a magic ring. I blessed it, did a whole ritual with it, and it's for Mercury, which is why it has these colors. So whenever I wear it, it's to increase communication and have better understanding of that people that understand me better, because of course we need that in life. Got a rabbit spine I found in my backyard. Let's see. Got my lovely cauldron. I use it for incense, and I also use it to burn anything. There's a lot of rituals I will have laurel leaves and burn it in there that have sigils, or like anything, hair. I burn it in there. Yay! This is a picture of Mihir Baba. In India, they believe he is the avatar of God, kind of like Jesus in the Second Coming. A lot of people believe that Jesus traveled. He went to India, and that's where India comes up with Krishna. That and that he was born again as Muhammad, and then born again as Meher Baba back in the 40s. And there's just a really beautiful tale about Meher Baba. A lot of our American songwriters, The Who, they worshipped, Peter Townsend worshipped Meher Baba for a little while. And the Beatles, when they went through their whole sitar phase, went over there, and they didn't worship him, but they did come in contact with him. Bobby McFerrin, there's a song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. He found a poster of Meher Baba's back in the 60s that literally said, Don't Worry, Be Happy. He made that whole song based on his teachings. Fun facts. And here we have the plethora of my bottles. We got Hecate oil that I made in the last video. Got this beautiful powder made by Black Emporium. Dragon's blood, Hecate oil, meteorite oil, all the lovely, that's another Hecate oil, love oil, as you can see, cedarwood oil. Yay, oils. Okay. Then we have my Lucifer. Oh, crap. That's a Rose of Jericho. And then we got a little spine here. But Lucifer, literally Lucifer. So I was having a really shitty day, argued with somebody, just felt like crap. Went to the railroad tracks at the crossroads and found Lucifer. It literally was a St. Michael statue. Probably somebody was doing Santeria out there. I mean, not the first time that I've seen bones or statues broken at the crossroads up here. A lot of people apparently do Santeria up in the high desert. But at that moment of my weakness and just horrible feeling, I saw him. And I was like, Lucifer, my internal darkness was coming out to tell me something. So I was like, I'm taking him, because he is all there, whereas you can only see a few bits of Michael's foot. And it really just solidified feelings I had. So there is Lucifer. I have him on my altar. Okay, so then last but not least, to come back up here, sorry about my feet, we have, this is my tray of knickknacks. So here I found this is a buffalo horn. I found it out in the parking lot. Go figure. Maybe it broke off somebody's, sometimes people will put the cow skulls and crap on the head of their car. Found that out there. My little garden witch, I found her in my dad's garden, so who knows how long that's been there. Probably since I was a kid. We got seashells. Every time I go to the sea, I collect seawater and seashells. Different rocks from my journeys. Colorado. That was the lake. We got these from the lake. Seashells. And then they're on a silver platter. And, I'm sentimental, so anytime I have a deep nature experience and connection, I will bring a little bit of it home and put it on my altar to kind of refresh my mind of these places in nature that have rejuvenated me. Because anytime I go to the ocean or to the woods, the forest, even deep in the desert where it's desolate, doing ghost hunting projects, I will find something that just reminds me of Hecate or reminds me of taking a deep breath of fresh air, and I collect it and I put it on my altar. So, yeah, I know that was a lot to take in, but it pretty much shows you that my altar is full of gifts people have given me things I've collected that are close to me, and things that I use almost daily in rituals or cleansings or prayers. So, what do you have on your altar? You know, what are things that are sacred to you that you use? Everybody is unique and different, and everybody has their own style and taste as to what they consider sacred or useful. Well, I hope this video gave you a little bit of insight, not only into my life and my altar, but gave you a little bit of education about Hecate's connections, and I hope that you are well and that this video inspires you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.